Wajana sume sowa me de jeme de jeme na ma jiwa me no me na me jeme de me yeme sume da me do me re re jeme jeme da me ga me. Nije na ma jiwa ga me ba de me do mare ba sa me ba ne ga je da ba de me do. Je na do na ma jo na ma na me jeme do me ma da ba ya me da jare ba de da je na je ma ye na na do me je do me shi je je. Lana Nama Jivana Sharan Parana Jalana Mayanda was a version of the Sanjay or Sharan Mijavala Jambanga, Jared Jivana, the Major Sharan Jivana,
Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no result of wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Chandrakirti, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on Indra and the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment, and relies on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is
How much is under the time? That's what you are doing. You didn't share it. Someone is on the journey. You the mother was your watcher 100 how them how many that is graduation. Jumne ne yin long long ma ja do
one should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as well as they can. Even the goddesses rejoice. Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Chandrakirti, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, goes around in their entirety along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. 55.
Sanje Jadon Saje Janana Janjo Bada Dane Jada Take Jejen Chive Sananje Dola Penge Sanje Dola Sanje Jadon Saje Janana Janjo Bada Dane Jada Take Jejen Chive Sananje Dola Penge Sanje Dola Sanje Jadon Saje Dāgī jīgurō bēndē ndīshāne gādēn jīmbē gōne jīzōndē gōsōntō jīngō dōsē sōs. Alright, that gulong gum us.
Could you start with motivation meditation, please? I feel joyous. Could you now recite like a star, visual aberration, and so on from the text, and to contemplate or think about mitakba, impermanence, please?
A visual aberration in the flame of the lamp.
Inhalation, attitude of attitude, a bubble. A dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things.
As such.
tanda tsikdi tuyun tumna ya woyor, tuyun maduna tuanda de samdansha na regra chona tumje gyule jung. Di gyu di shin shi gwesa gyulo gobo khayim, gejon chumbe tiga sonsa tsikdi maa jik tuyun, ande ne tangbo jik suzu gi di dukdaan lu da kharayi na jik gyujen le dene chungwa, mangbo jik gyujen dende le dene chungwa. O dende na di da jik di duk, tande nega nga ranzo jik dungye dan kangye dos mangbo jik. Ya samudando na dimodize marigwa tsumi ji namdo tuzule chungwa an tuzu gado gi yoba de ngwe sindu ne yagoda de na andi gawe ka de tarba chawe yorba ne dedewe tarba temba bode kyap sanje kunjo da tarba ngwe de chu kunjo ane tawa duwe roba chini de kundu kunjo yin samshi o de dinshi ki samlo de shirim dindesh tametane ne kyamdok samlo yago chitando ne yagoda digadol.
Following reflection on this stanza, when awareness of impermanence has become clearer and clearer, then you might want to, if possible, recite the stanza on dependent arising Hedama, but in Tibetan stanza is Chönam Tamje Gyulejung. All phenomena arise from causes, and their causes have been spelled out by the Tathagata. Cessation Gyulokopa Kayamba, how to put an end to causes. The the great sage has accordingly spelled out. So something like that. If you could recite the stanza, uh, would be ideal. If not, think about the meaning. And the purpose of thinking about this meaning is to come to realize that all one's deduk means sukha, events of sukha and dukkha, well-being and suffering to stress. They have all arisen from the dependent arising of causes and conditions, different dependent arising of causes and conditions. And when you keep on tracing where do they have actually stemmed from, when you keep tracing back and back and back, yeah, dynamics, that's what it means, you'll come to the fact that ultimately all unpleasant experience in samsara has stemmed from ignorance, which gives rise to unhealthy mental cogitation or unhealthy discursive cogitation. And fortunately, because they are impermanent, they can change. As they change, there's a definite possibility of them coming to an end permanently, irreversibly. That is a nirvana. And the process to get there was taught by the Buddha, and the process itself is the medication, as it were, the Dharma. And then there are those who are striving and on their way to the highest state of enlightenment or otherwise. So from this we can understand the function of our three jewels. Via three jewels, you can also draw the conclusion of the process of the Four Noble Truths.
다시 산지 고마 마다파는 군조스는 타고네 잡스토이 삼베 아니 잠 군조스입니다. 이제 곡된다 남된다 초군조 되서 윤대 시베 터네네 되서라야다 한번에 기타 톡보로 톡로도 다 들어가네로다 톡보네 톡보디 강에 되도록 제거로다 군조스면 되게 가서 강에 되도록 진이선자 안에다베 텐데 산지 고마 마다파데 건접나 풍니 yin sambe kone jamdo jik susu sem nana ya jamdo jab do sad susu mi susu lo kogo yoro pe sem jab do sigdo jabi kunjo sungi chosu rangi sem di pan do re da jamdo sad deslo pa kwasha na digro ko
And then reflect like this. Until I achieve the state of enlightenment, I will always turn to go for refuge to the three jewels: the Buddha, the perfect guide, Dharma, the message or the message, and the result uh, yielded by the message, and reliable friends of perfect Arya Sangha members. So the three jewels are unfailing, ever reliable. A good friend is someone who is there for one in thick and through thick and thin, and therefore they are there for us in difficult times, in hard times, good times. In the same way, three jewels are always there through thick and thin. You can rely on them, and we can trust them, and therefore you turn to three jewels for gyapto. Gyap means protection. Do means wish. Turn to that protection.
oh ya da ni di jamdo sem ji ma khlel ten kandila jit ma jikten shos khlel samdangi tangi sikthewo chera
So could you then recite the whole Kandil Hagyama, starting with the refuge, bodhicitta, and so on?
I go to refuge to the triple gym. I shall liberate all sentient beings to lead them to an enlightened state. I generate purely an enlightened motive. I go for refuge to the triple gym. I shall liberate all sentient beings to lead them to an enlightened state. I generate purely an enlightened motive. I go for refuge to the triple gym. I shall liberate all sentient beings to lead them to an enlightened state. I generate purely an enlightened motive. May the surface of the earth in every direction be pure without even a pebble, as smooth as the palm of a child's hand, naturally polished as the sapphire lazuli. And may all space be completely filled with the material offerings of gods and men, both seed set before me and those yet to be created. Meticulous cloud of Samantalaka offerings. From the heart of the protector of the hunters of deities of the land of joy, comes a cloud that resembles a mass of fresh white bread. On the 10th of Chandrakirti, in Notre Dame, together with your sons, I request you to come here now. O venerable Gurus with white smiles of delight, seated on lion thrones, lotus and moon in the space before me, I request you to remain for 150 years in order to spread the teachings and be the supreme field of the earth for my mind of faith. The mind is the intellect that comprehends the full extent of what we know. Your speech with its excellent explanations becomes the ornament of those of good fortune. Your bodies are radiantly handsome with glory renowned. I prostrate to you and to behold, hear, or behold to your world. Pleasing water offerings, various flowers, fragrant incense, flowers, and scented water, an ocean of actual and visualized cloud-like offerings, I present to you a supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtues of body, speech, and mind have accumulated to me in this time, and especially any transgressions of my free vows, I confess again and again with fervent regard from my heart. From the depths of our hearts we hear your sacred in the great waves of your deeds. You bestow beyond the practice in this eternal age, and the enlightening full by abandoning the angle of the heavens. Like all the venerable mountains, from the clouds of compassion that fall on the skies with down high wisdom, these rivers of rain clouds that down down, precisely what with the needs of those eternal. I dedicate whatever virtues I have ever collected for the benefit of the teachings and all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of the Venerable Western Brother to shine forever. By directing the fields of Buddhas to Siddhartha on a basis of flowers, saffron water, and incense, adorned with mountain gold, the four continents, and sacred land. May all sentient beings be led to these fields. Idam Guru Ratanandaya Kamaya Swanaya. I can order Christian and others to be Christian students. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, follow rays of white light emanating from the hearts of the venerable Father and his two sons, the ends of which align in one with the ground of liquid. Like white nectar of the color of milk, that comes through the pathway of the tree of white life. I am cleansed of all sickness, disturbance, non-virtues, obstacles, and hindrances as our possession. And my body becomes pure and fearless crystal. You are the Vishvara, perpetuator of compassion, embodiment of true existence, and the judiciary master of flawless wisdom, as well as Akatani, destroyer of the hordes of demons without exception. Wisdom Kappa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of science. Wisdom Kappa, my good Chris,
야, 다 아니 다들 술을 대주 왔다.
No, have a rest.
다게 생각서 연라 뒤에 연라 나와디 제수이랑 임바. 치코랑기다 제르모 챙기 랍쟁기. 아니 제발라 간서 제수이랑 공부인스다 송고데다 제르모 챙기 랍쟁기 제바스나다. 템발라 차와 제바데레다 탄당아란조 랍종치기 총와. 믹세 타탄다 담블링나라 요와 댄서 숨 아니 규다 되면이 디규네 아니 콤바이엔라 망고쇼지 룩스체네 총대로와 디제게다 셰룹게다 셰와단 두베게다 도심진라 단다이나 펜데 펜션 바레 디제게다 지 요자라오데 제르모친 숨부디 부디 접게 요라 부디 접게 제조 렉셰 매드 총 상바든 알아서 탄다 당연히 시 닝보스야 되죠 닝보스다 렉셰기 닝보 어딘 데가 달로 좀 시기 총하듯이 제럼 뭐지 가디 임바다 네 데라 자바데라 제수이랑 겁나 소남 신지교와라 제수이랑 겁나 네 소남 대난 신념 수술라 수소남 덕구여 당한도 소남 싸우러 소남 매나 아니 추치야다 데라 강에도 파제 망보시지도 태용거다 제가 소남 유나 롱저용으로 봐 롱저요나 아니 추치야 투제용거도 봐 롱저매나 아니 내가 쉬지 최고도 내가 쉬지는 추치야 투제 매봐 안 투제유네 내가 망보시도 깔래카지 아니 추치야 용거면 다 제가 소남 고고여래 소남 사야 그 초도 교바데 아니 제수이랑 인천 송고여라
So we're talking about from seven sublime practice pertaining to Lama Tsongkhapa, the sublime practice of rejoicing. And now we rejoice in the glorious, magnanimous deeds of Lama Tsongkhapa. And the effects of his deeds are all plain to see in the world. For example, the three great monasteries, the two tantric colleges, and many other adjunct monasteries, and for both ordained, for both male and female ordained Sangha members of the world. So it is through them that the teaching and the practice of Lama Tsongkhapa is kept alive. Shetu means through constant teaching and constant practice, service to a sentient being in terms of delivery of their message of enlightenment is rendered all the time. And this is all this is put down to the amazing 18 volumes, 18 priceless volumes Lama Tsongkhapa has produced, from which the one that we are getting transmission and the contents, key contents delivered is rather Dangye Leshen Yingbo, essence of eloquence. And it's very fortunate that we have time to study these and get transmission from, and thus if you briefly scan the great deed, great service Lama Tsongkhapa has rendered to teaching and Dharma, you can't help drawn towards his magnanimous work. And when you are drawn to his work, you're filled with appreciation and that is rejoice. And rejoicing in general, or rejoicing in others' virtue, is one of the most dynamic and swiftest way of gathering huge amount of merit with little exertion. So one is able to gather huge amount of merit with little exertion, and we need merit, don't we? We need merit. If we have merit, then everything will flow from that merit without much effort. If we have merit, we will also gain, we will also have resources. If we have resources, we will be able to practice. For if we have resources, then uh, we don't have to spend great chunk of time available in a day to work. And when there are people who want to practice, but they have to work, and where they spend a great chunk of their time, and when they come back home, they are spent force, and then they are not able to devote their time to practice. So, uh, indeed, we need merit, and the best and the most dynamic way to gather merit is said to be in said to lie in rejoicing. So please rejoice in Lama Tsongkhapa's great deeds.
근데 지름진 근데 송다 도저들이 많이 say다. 배워 충을 랍진 초들라 gel라 제수유나 촉도 송스러워. 먼저 팅상 밀어 거야 들어. 깔래 춘주 지기 캡상 먹물어야 돼. 라야 배워 충을 랍진 초데. 아니 배 깔래 춘주 시잡제. 초라버지 더 두디야죠. 스티커레스나 아니 신지 겨와라 제수유랑 거면 되레스. 제잔디 만에디 도선 당문도 삼로단단지래도 북스타나 렐한다 거르지어들레 디 나란저 렐하고요 말에 그래서 나간저 미신 야고 통도 타도 사용고다 먼저 타도 숙청으로 미신이들 타도 쉬도 아니 덴심디 숙청으로 먼저 지도하라나 덴심이요나 시행기 개발의 제수이랑 검토고 말와 제장 디 책디 지난 렐 하분도 커버로지다 요래 나는 또 손단인데도 채고 말아들래 다 단대 뒤지고 미기 삼로든데 다야 데스 가고 요래 좀제 가려나 네 컨디션나 지레다 지도거나 직 착단당 전주당 전심당 아니 직 쇼업치엘다 가고 싶지 차대도 네게 미신이 겨와라 제수이랑 고미야데 가고 차고 알아서 라마종가베다 기ዱ그와 기두선자 다 제수이랑 곰네와 디곰나 수수주 타도 뇽으로 도고였다 타도 뇽으로 도고 덴즈 뇽으로 도고요래 아니 지속 누슈 뇽으로 도고요 강에 망보지 삼로든 데스탄토비네 케도야 아니 소남 랍침보지 소다 인데이 네 오도하고 로 믹좀제 대제 삼바디 깁타제 네네나 아니 삼바 조용으로 와 된대잖아
One of Lama Tsongkhapa's writing Tokju Tundimaro.
도저 들으면 있어요 제제
I think the source is Tokju Tundunma. That means maybe a seven stanza stating or singing or expressing spiritual realization, attainment. There he says, "Baba chung은 랍진 초, 랍진 가서,
랍진 초들라
초들라. Baba chung은 랍진 초들라. 생기 gel라 제수 이런,
나 gel라 제수이랑 초도 손스
gel라 제수 이런 초선." So there he says, the translation of that is, massive gathering of merit through little effort. Nothing is as effective as rejoicing in others' virtue. That's a rough translation of that 2 lines. And it sounds quite easy, and it also looks like it's something much needed for modern people, where they want to gain a lot with a little effort. But it is easier said than done, of course. It looks like it's easy to rejoice, but do we really find it easy to rejoice? It's questionable because uh, we have seeds of competitiveness, not in a positive way, in a negative way, bordering on and in lying in taktok means green-eyed perception or jealousy, and therefore it's not easy because the society is structured in a way where you have to compete to be the best, and if you don't, then you fall behind, and yet you want to be successful, and to be successful you do all one can to show off and so on. So since we are followers of Lama Tsongkhapa, then it is incumbent upon us as his followers to listen to or to pay heed to the pity advice and instruction on how to gather huge merit, and therefore nothing is as effective as simply wholeheartedly, genuinely appreciating what is good in others, materially, spiritually, whatnot. So all that we have to do is just be oneself and be at one place. Close one's eyes, and then genuinely feel happy that others are doing well, others have a success. In this way, when we feel good, when we feel when we feel good in terms of others' success in every sphere of human activity, that good feeling itself is a joy, and without having to incur a lot of expenses to buy merit, by dint of twisting one thought positively, one achieves great deal of merit.
다들 두번 인라 두번 들어와 중국어다 중국어에 인라 들어와 다디디리 지줄라마 담바치는지 추구컬 천전전전 지다 선배 뒤제제 말 사게 추기 자와 없었어 지줄라마 담바치는지 스르다 디 교유된 버리 교수음중 교교 천전선선 그 교유된 거라 제세야디 교중의 점도 준세야디 교등의 점도 라마 담바치는 세야디 교천별 점도 아니 텐데기 겹숨 교천전선선 그 겹숨 군도 그 단이 다 제름 뭐친 라야다 둥지난가 셋업셔라 아니 지진 라마 탐바 다 라마 탐바 체남 예스도다 응외스 쇼베스 자 라마네 그 디엘스 야 송거래 아니 주고갈 천전 딘딘네 시다 선배도 제세만나 사비치기 차와 압드스스다 아니 주고갈 천전 딘딘네 사도서 당아단 되어 셔용 거로 추유구스데 추구대 산제기 이시에들어 산제지 이시데 에네 셈 융심 참모게다 야 산제 융심 참모데 아니 송중주 공방원데 야 주된 요지래대로 지선 디네다 가도 이나에 가서 지 아니 차와로지 파고 이나 띵 틱틱 버려야 돼요. 자 차와 반어 밥 저저로 차대요. 그래서 고주년도 참배이나 제가 아니 주줄라마 담배치는지 아니 추구 이시지 추구데 아니 융심 참모게 손에 즉 송중주 공방 도지찬지 공방원데 제대로돼 아니 두제 유래야 아니 두제 대단 대유라 아니 대단 참배 아니 지 유친중 중송 그 초고 단도 송샤와데 나시 아니 두제 대단 대참바게 아니 sabje 추기 차와 바브로치스 언도르바 지 차와 고베도 차와 니마 고베도 니마 아니 대유나 아니 로도 무슨 소고 연구도 대나시 아니 두제 수수수수게 유친중 중송게 아니 다 도르스 주드나 냠렘바 상마 유친데 주소나 뒤로고요라 티수수수수게 아니 지금 감다 메바다 참배 아니 중국고로시 시제 어디래다 중국고에 인라스로.
So the next sublime practice is requesting to turn Dharma on page 55 and third stanza. Okay. Jitun Lama by Kenamki, that is holy and venerable Lama. So now this word Je Zun Lama in Tibetan, Je means venerable, Zun means literally Zun means sublime and diligent, and Lama. So these three words, Je has a reference to revealing the part of small scope. Zun, diligence, and sublime diligence has reference to the part of middling scope. Lama, literally Lama means the peerless. Not okay. Lama means at the apex, at the top. So the peerless, which is the guru. But so that has reference to the part of advanced practitioner. Damba means sublime anyway. Kyenam and so on. So from the clouds of compassion that form the skies of your Dharmakaya wisdom, please release a rain of vast and profound Dharma precisely in accordance with the needs of those to be trained. So now one is requesting Lama Tsongkhapa, one and disciples and all other gurus that Buddhas one has visualized to send down a cascade of cloud and the rain of Dharma from their Dharmakaya state. And Dharmakaya has now it has a reference, it has connection to tantric state of enlightenment. So what it means is from the vast expanse of your Dharma, from the vast expanse of enlightened subtle mind and subtle wind, in the form of Yukonada union of a perfect method and wisdom, personified by Vajradhara. So could you please send forth a shower of rain of teachings suitable accordingly to people of three scopes or practitioners of three scopes. So we're requesting the teaching, a rain of teaching from the space of Dharmakaya, overcast with the compassion, clouds of compassion, carrying the rain of wisdom and compassion to be sent down. And indeed, when there's a timely rain And when there's a timely sunshine, crops benefit, crops do well. In the same way, we are asking Lama Tsongkhapa in the fertile field of our mind of faith to send forth the rain so that we may yield bumper crop of spiritual good.
어디 다 중국어 어디 좀 된데랑게 마까나요라 마세발라 셰오미차오스 추 셰로치스 야로 마젤라 추 셰초 마레스 마세발라 셰오미차오스 좀 된데 신자 디게 다 지체는 안조 전에 맨데지 푸도 왔음 당기대 어디 디레다 디게 subject 마도다 최고로지 단다디 시그널라든데도 한당저 지 사시부시 제지gel라는 지들라마 담바친난지 주고걸리지다 사비주기 차업드스 라고다 와데디 디기 착시로 착시 또뭐 좀 된데 까디 마차와치 디 춘드인데 디 숭주 마셔고는 멘데프야디 네 중국 고로시 지지 디기 춘드인라 셰거 좀 된데랑게다 마서발레 셔미 차워서 최 셰로 지지 말람나나 추시에 저거 말이야. 니기다 된다지.
And this sublime practice of requesting teaching is very much in line with what Buddha has categorically stated, where he says, Masewala, Shebramajawa, not requested. Okay, in other words, no request, no teaching. In other words, unless requested, thou shalt not deliver teachings, as it were. That is the injunction that Buddha has given to those in a position of teaching. And in line with that, when we always keep this practice alive, when we come together to get teachings, we have a mandala offering. Mandala offering is an expression of request to teach.
Now these
days, now these days, the injunction has been thrown to the wind in tatters. Because online, I'm here teaching, come and listen to me, rather than people going to the so
먼저 공부도 내는 아니 비디 기겐시도 당보 나 베지티로 지지 러시고 따라 러시 아니 비디 도라.
At the monastery, first you need to go to the suitable guru suggested and then ask you to be accepted as a disciple and then request teaching. Only then can you participate in the teachings.
딩사 너가 가르쳐 그래. 나 진짜 용기면 다스라고 그러다. 갑질로지.
And nowadays what happens is
가시에다 라이브라고요 말아. 가시 다 이제 용기면스니데 야가 돼 임백해져래도.
Now, what happens these days is there are two categories of people. Some explicitly say, I'm not coming to the teaching tonight. And others don't even say that. And then, of the two kinds, the first one is slightly more civil.
Yeah. And there kanzo nga yongmi kanzo kombala ina ta nasna kuch tanga nasu yontu mason kombana ro chi shugura da nubjol mi nga yongmi menda tere kuch nga komba dero chi lage marta nga yongmi menda.
So back at the monastery, you go to the teacher and say, could you I'm not able to come, please give me permission for the absence. I'm not feeling well and so on. But here what people say is, I'm not coming.
And the stories la yung do konde. Kondas.
Of course, they do say sorry.
Because you marda. Lokse kenzara that kande thai na kansh. Kandes thai na hamago.
I'm not sure how this has evolved. It is now a common practice.
다 배진 기갱이 기둘로 공부 쉬고야 배진 대로 진짜다. 기갱 기둘로 공부 쉬지.
Maybe I feel maybe it's a time. The time has come. The time has evolved such that the teacher has to be apologetic to the absentees.
내려와다. 세상에 다 좀 된데 가시샤로 샤나 약사래요. 배진 미마이나 마요.
Maybe I think it's better to keep to the tradition and stick to Buddha's advice. Even if no one turns up, doesn't matter.
아야. 어딘데? 나 어디 저랑도 제일 신나야 와. 다 때스 신경 말아 가야 말아. 다 주스 제일 럽종데 진유도 나네 티로치스 야래 로쇼 개겐 신다던데 로. 주스 또 개겐래. 럽종 나데 딘데 티로치스 딘데 다는 야메나 냠네 딘데 치기에 데라 럽종 가레 럽종 전에 야 그래서 디나 아니 야고요로.
So that aside, it's good to know these small niceties about the process of requesting teaching and so on, where it has all started in the first place. And so therefore it's really good to know these small things, but very practical that one can apply to here and in the future. For example, I'm doing this practice these days. What should I do? What can you suggest? Could you other things that I can do to support this practice and so on? Getting counsel and advice is beneficial and in line with what Buddha has said.
저랑도 망부지기 이게서 또 스스 지야성 타제 사셔도 근데 타제 사는 어디 치기 뒤치기 인슬랍샤나 아니 표저 마치 뒤치실라고 말해네 가가 샤셔 돼 야고래 세니 여기샤 그래
And often what the Lama hears is people come and then tell the Lama the decisions they have made. I've decided to do this and do this and this. What do you think? Lama just nods quietly. What can you say when people have decided?
먼저 가시엔도와 네 인주 공부 시간에 그지래 아니 직직 공시 직직 조인 남주 tiga 또 창마 제사래 다음에 밤에 시간에 돼도 좀 더래더라
So people have already decided to go somewhere to do something, book their ticket, and then come and tell you, as if to to get Guru's approval. What can Guru do?
yeah. Desha.
We'll stop here. Thank you.